So, for today's lesson in 8th grade social studies, we're taking a look at the early years for Abraham Lincoln. You guys should already know that he is one of the most famous presidents in the United States because he was our president during the Civil War, and he also helped end slavery, which is quite a big deal when it comes to history. So today we are completing a biographical, which means about his life, reading. And I'm going to take you through it. This is located in step 1 in our assignment. Harcourt Multimedia Biographies. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States. He has been called by the nicknames Honest Abe, the Rail Splitter, and the Great Emancipator. For many people, Lincoln's life story is an example of the American dream. He showed that in a democracy, anything is possible for anyone willing to work hard. He always believed that democracy could last as a form of government. This belief can be seen in his writings and his speeches. Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky on February 12, 1809. In 1816, his family moved to Indiana because of problems with their farm. When Lincoln was just 9 years old, his mother became ill and died. His father remarried, and Lincoln's stepmother, Sarah Bush Johnston Lincoln, became a great influence in young Abraham's life. She treated him as if he were her own child. She saw that he was an intelligent child and encouraged him to read. Lincoln received little formal schooling, but he liked reading and learned to read by borrowing books. Lincoln's love of learning continued throughout his life. By 1830, the Lincoln family moved to a farm in Illinois. By this time, Lincoln was almost fully grown. Although he was thin and 6 feet 4 inches tall, he was strong from all of the farm work he had done. At the age of 21, Abraham Lincoln decided he did not want to become a farmer like his father. The harsh way of life on the frontier in Indiana and Kentucky had given him a dislike for farming, hunting, and fishing. It was at this time that Lincoln made a trip to New Orleans, Louisiana. It was in New Orleans that he saw people who were enslaved for the first time. He was saddened by the sight and believed more than ever that slavery was wrong. At the age of 22, Lincoln moved to New Salem, Illinois. There, over the next few years, he tried several different jobs. He worked as a shopkeeper, postmaster, surveyor, and blacksmith. He also served as a captain in the Illinois State Militia and fought in the Black Hawk War. Finally, he decided to become a lawyer. In 1836, Lincoln passed the bar exam, a test given to people who want to become lawyers. In 1837, Lincoln moved to Springfield, Illinois. In Springfield, he built a successful law practice and soon became known for his honesty and fairness. He lost his first election to the Illinois State Legislature, but he was later voted in 4 times. On November 4th, 1842, he married Mary Todd, and together they had 4 children. In 1847, Lincoln won election to the United States House of Representatives. There he worked to stop the spread of slavery. In 1858, Lincoln ran for the United States Senate against Stephen A. Douglas. This contest became famous because of a series of debates between the 2 candidates, known as the Lincoln-Douglas debates. Although Lincoln lost the election to the United States Senate, he gained national attention as a good public speaker and politician. This attention helped him win the Republican Party's presidential nomination in 1860. On November 6, 1860, Lincoln was elected the 16th President of the United States. Unfortunately, he did not get to celebrate for long. On December 20th, 1860, South Carolina seceded, or left, the Union. South Carolina was soon followed by Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. These states then joined together to form the Confederate States of America. Later, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, and Arkansas also seceded and joined the Confederate States of America. On April 12, 1861, Confederate troops attacked Fort Sumter, and the Civil War began. The Civil War was perhaps the greatest time of crisis, or emergency, in the United States history. During the war, Lincoln's goal was to keep the United States together. His most famous speech was the Gettysburg Address, given in 1863. It called for unity despite disagreements over slavery and states' rights, which divided the people of the United States. During the war, Lincoln took steps to stop the spread of slavery. However, his main goal was to save the Union at any cost. On September 22, 1862, he gave the Confederate States one more chance to rejoin the Union by the end of the year. If they did not return, he would issue an Emancipation Proclamation. It would free all the slaves in those states. When none of the states returned to the Union by January 1st, 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation as he had promised. In 1864, Lincoln was re-elected as a President of the United States. The Civil War ended on April 9, 1865, with the surrender of the Confederate Army by General Robert E. Lee at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. On April 14, 1865, while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth. Booth was an actor and supporter of the Southern cause, which means he wanted the South to win the war. Abraham Lincoln died the next morning. Abraham Lincoln, who was born in a log cabin, grew up to become the 16th President of the United States. This story of a boy from a humble background who achieved so much inspired many people. Pictures of Abraham Lincoln appear on the $5 bill and the penny. The capital of Nebraska was named for Lincoln, and Lincoln's likeness is one of the 4 presidents carved into the monument at Mount Rushmore, South Dakota. So now that we've finished the reading, the next step that you're going to do is go to the activity and answer the questions that I ask of you here. Please remember to write and complete sentences and follow the directions. So for question number 1, you would tell me 3 details about Abraham Lincoln's childhood using complete sentences. Please, please, please remember we need to work on our writing skills in social studies. Second question, it says, please name several of the jobs that Abraham Lincoln worked before he became president. Use complete sentences and provide detail. And then, what were the Lincoln-Douglas debates? Finish these questions, make sure to share the link with me, or submit it in the digital Dropbox, and you're all finished for today. As always, if you have any questions, give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to help. Good luck!